I'm an only child, just me, mom and dad, in the wide old house at 57. Too many rooms for 3 people, too much quiet between the walls. Neighbors joke they never meant to stop at one. Life just kept them busy. I was 15. May rain on a Saturday night, summer hovering outside like a moth. Not thunder, no drama, just relentless rain that stitches the dark. People say rain helps them sleep, not me. My body is a cabinet of problems, panic attacks, fainting spells, lungs that forget the rhythm, and I need silence, absolute. Even a tiny fan keeps me awake. Tonight, the roof was a drum, every drop a finger tapping my nerves. After midnight, I gave up. Sleep was not coming. Sometimes I walk in the rain. My parents even suggest it when I can't calm down. Our neighborhood is safe. A huge park kisses our backyard. Lamps throw clean cones of light. I left the phone behind on purpose. Screens keep me awake like sirens. Rain jacket, stairs, front door sighs open, and the night breathes on my face. It was strangely peaceful. Trees nodding, branches combing the rain into silver threads. I walked until my thoughts thinned, until footfalls learned the rhythm of water. 20 minutes, eyelids heavy, the kind of tired that promises sleep. I turned back through the park, lamps whispering, puddles winking like coins. That's when I saw it, in the road beyond the fence. A long black shape lying flat. A trash bag maybe, some bundle, nothing that should matter. But it had angles, shoulders, shoes, the truth you recognize in half a glance. A person, face down, rain sewing them to the asphalt. Cold rose inside me like slow smoke, heavy, metallic. My parents raised me to help, not walk past. So I left the path, stepped onto the street, rain ticking on my hood like a fast clock. Closer, details sharpened, black pants, dark plaid shirt, clothes that drank water and refused to shine. A man, I thought. Wrong place, wrong hour. And then it came, a screech from behind me. Not a dog, not a person, a wounded howl bent out of shape. I spun, heart punching my ribs, tree line empty, leaves shivering like coins, deeper in the park. That's where the sound belonged. I turned back to the road, and the black shape had changed. He was sitting, perfectly upright, head tilted, eyes glued to me. The night narrowed to a tunnel, rain louder, lamps dimmer, my vision a shrinking circle. He stood in one motion, like a puppet pulled by an eager string. There was a grin, wrong and too wide, and the slick outline of a kitchen knife in his hand. I didn't understand real fear until that second, the kind that tastes like batteries and freezes your fingers. I ran, body choosing before mind could. Behind me, he screamed, "I'll kill you!" Words big enough to fill the rain. The street was glass, my shoes skated, lungs sawed air into crooked pieces. I didn't run toward home. I cut for the trees, for the park's dark ribs. That screech had come from there. I knew, but the maze would hide me better than porches and light. Don't look back. Looking wastes speed. That became my prayer. Branches whipped my jacket. Mud clutched my heels. Rain stitched needles along my jaw. The howl came again. Farther left now, warped by wind. I veered right into the densest patch, where paths forgot to exist. My heart was a small animal, frantic in a wire cage. If I stopped, I'd faint and never wake up. So I kept moving, weaving between trunks, counting breaths in pairs. When my legs went rubber, I folded behind a thick tree, bark slick as fish skin. Silence wasn't silence. Layers of rain on leaves, far traffic sighs, the drum of my pulse. I listened for feet, for the rhythm of anger, heard nothing but water doing its slow work. Maybe he slipped. Maybe he lost me. Maybe I wasn't the point at all. I counted to 60, then again, time stretching like wet fabric. No voice, no shape, only the memory of a grin I wanted to remember. I slid around the trunk, peered through ribs of branches. The world stood still except for rain. Go the long way. Don't cut across. Don't lead him home. I skirted the park's backside, a service path that spits you out streets away. Every corner I rehearsed a sprint. Every shadow I weighed like a door. The lamps spread thinner. Rain softened to a hiss. My steps turned careful and small. When I finally saw my house between the trees, I felt both older and very young. I slipped inside, locked the door once, then again, forehead resting against the wood until the shaking left. I fell onto my bed, fully dressed, rain metronome on the window, breath learning how to be soft again. Morning brought no answers. It rarely does. That screech bothers me most. A sound with no owner, a question with teeth. Maybe he heard it too, looked up, saw me, and something inside him unlatched. Maybe drugs, madness, or just the kind of broken that reasons can't glue back. I still live at 57. Same rooms, same lamps, same park breathing at the fence line. On rain nights, I count the locks. 1, 2, 3, a ritual that teaches the heart to stay. I keep a little hallway light burning, not bright, just enough to teach the dark some manners. And if the wind bends the trees and the world makes that sound again, I won't go walking. I'll stay where the locks live, where windows are eyes, where my breath remembers I am still here. Lock your doors at night. I was small, 2nd or 3rd grade, the age when the world still feels taller than you. The day was a soaked blanket, rain needling the streets, gutters gurgling. After school, my parents dressed like adults who know important rooms. A fundraiser, a dinner. I never remembered which. They said they would be back by night. The storm had other plans. Wind took the roads by the throat. Visibility shredded, so they stayed at a friend's place near the venue. They called on the landline, voices soft with apology, asking if I was okay. I said I was more than okay. I had the whole kingdom to myself. Mom gave me a list. Lock doors and windows, close every blind, leave one light glowing, I promised, because promises at that age feel sacred. Candy stacked like treasure. No bedtime guard at the gate. My room had no TV, so I camped on the living room couch, the big screen a glowing aquarium of noise. I told myself I'd do the list later, right before sleep, except I never made it to later. Sugar crashed, eyelids drifted, storm hummed like a giant refrigerator. When I woke, the TV had dozed off too. Screen black, room colder, breath a thin fog. Night makes houses different, the same shapes with sharper teeth. I remembered the list and the unblinking eyes of a mother who somehow knows. I did my rounds, front door, back door, click, click, each lock a small hammer, blinds down, windows checked, my palm flat on cold glass, no cracks, no drafts. Still, the house felt wrong, colder than a storm should make it. Maybe the heater lost against the weather. I was too young to argue with logic. I climbed the stairs. Step, step, each rise a drumbeat to my room. Upstairs, the storm had a voice, rain slamming the window like fists on a locked door. Lightning snapped open the world, then folded it shut again. I wasn't afraid of weather. I was afraid of trees falling in the dark, of sounds you can't name. I lay down, tried to sleep, but another sound unwound from the walls. A slow creak, wood shifting its bones. Not the storm, not the pipes. I listened, counting seconds between thunder, hunting the creak like a hunter hunts breath. Lightning flared, and the room leapt into clarity. My eyes went to the only major wood in the room, the closet. Darkness returned, thick, patient. Another flash, a knife of white, and in that one slice I saw it. The closet, not closed. A breath caught sideways in my throat. I had closed it. Something else had opened it. I moved, not running, not trembling. A child's careful exit from a sleeping lion's den. From bed to door felt like crossing a frozen lake. Step by step. Don't look down. I slipped into the hall, then down, to the dining room, under the table, the small country of tablecloth shadows. Only then, the crying came, small, tight, silent as I could make it.
Heard them before I saw anything. Footsteps on the stairs, but wrong, tumbling. Pinballing off risers like a broken toy finding gravity. I held my breath, because breath is a beacon in quiet rooms. The steps came closer, pausing, then sliding, as if the house itself tilted. From under the tablecloth, I saw ankles first. Bare feet, soaked, a swamp walking on two legs. Mud painted the skin, as sick yellow tint under streetlights spill through blinds. Cuts like thin red thread stitched wrong across the shins. They wobbled, balance a rumor. The body above them a mystery I refused to solve. A metal note rang and wouldn't stop. A wrench skipping across wood, then settling at my eye level. If they bent down, the cloth would lift, the world would end. We stood like statues, me horizontal, them vertical, the wrench a coin between us we both refused to pick. Thunder argued with the roof, the house shook. Water threaded down the window in silver veins. The feet shifted, one slow step, then another, testing the floor like ice. The wrench stayed, accusing, gleaming dull in the dark. They moved away from the morning didn't fix the night, it only hid it behind coffee and routine. I hid the wrench where parents wouldn't find it, a child's attempt at erasing ink with water. I told no one, because shame can look exactly like obedience. Years later I told them, the story limped out, disbelief at first, then the heavy quiet adults use when they wish they had been there. By then the night was a scar, not a wound. I learned to sleep with a small light, learned that darkness is just a place where sound has a body. I learned that fear is a teacher who never grades on a curve. And I learned the simplest ritual, the one that lets the heart breathe at midnight. Check the doors, turn the locks, let one light stay. Because storms don't always knock, sometimes they come in with feet. Lock your doors at night.